Okay, good, it's filming. Okay, hey guys, AJ here. I wanted to give an update. I haven't done that in quite a long time. Stop. Don't make me start this over. I can't edit, remember?
I know. I'm gonna make you start it over.
No. Anyway, I'm gonna put you on film.
Yeah, and then your video gets taken down for pornography.
No. Anyway.
I'm 210 pounds of pure mat, and of course it's porn.
Anyway. Okay, so for the last month, I think, my roommates and I have been living, almost 2 months now. Right? Almost 2?
No,
Since we left?
I don't think so.
It was like early May.
Yeah,
so
almost a month and a half.
A month and a half. So it's been a month and a half since we've actually lived somewhere permanent. We left La Conchita in Ventura in early May. About almost 2.5 weeks ago, the money ran out and we ended up having to live out of our vehicles, which I don't know if anybody knows this, but in San Diego County, it is illegal to park anywhere and sleep in your car. Even in cases of emergency, like you can't sleep on private property either. Not supposed to anyway, but they're less likely to bother you on private property because they're like, oh, there's a car parked in that driveway. Okay. So as long as you're not being obvious that there are people in the car, they're not going to bother you too much. So the guy who's fostering the pigs let us park in front of his dad's used car lot. So it's not like on the street in front of, it's literally in front of the fence on the property because they have cars that they park outside of the fence to grab people's attention. So every night they pull those in and it leaves a big open space to park cars in, and that's where the guy parks his car and where he let us park ours so we could sleep. Because it was getting increasingly unsafe for us to sleep anywhere else because we'd been stopped by police twice and, said to move along. It's like, we know you're not doing anything bad, but we can't let you stay here. The second time, believe it or not, was at a park and ride. We were parked next to a freaking donation center for Goodwill that they're manned, which means someone sits in there and collects the donations and writes them all down and all that stuff. And they freaking called the cops on us for sleeping in our car. Even though that's what a park and ride is for. It's a fucking, rest stop that doesn't have, bathrooms and stuff. It's just a parking lot. That's what they're for. So that was nice. That was fun. Last week, my fiance came and picked me up from San Diego.
Hi.
You're a nerd.
This is not news.
Because my other roommates, rightfully so, got very tired of sleeping in the car, and decided to go back to Michigan. I cannot live in Michigan. I wasn't even treated, hell, but, generally I was treated like crap by doctors, and...
You were labeled a drug seeker and almost died through their negligence.
Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't even function because I have pain disorders. They weren't treating my other illnesses, and I was getting very sick. So yeah. So I opted to stay in my fiance's car with him. He's been living in his car the entire time after we moved out of La Conchita, so he didn't even have a hotel or Airbnb to stay in except for when he'd come to visit me. So it's been a week of that. very, very generous person who I follow and has followed me on Tumblr for quite some time now, gifted us a hotel room for 4 nights. So we stayed here last night. We're staying here another night. So we've got 2 more nights, or this night and
2 more.
Yeah, 2 more
Tuesday
left.
and Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday left. But it'll be back to living in our car. I mean, it's something. It's a bed. We were able to shower. I haven't been able to shower in almost an entire month. I mean, I have like baby wipes and stuff, but my hair was just so disgusting. So yeah. You stop doing.
Poking your armpit.
So yeah. There is no in-between housing now. We are officially homeless. That's pretty much what we were waiting on in San Diego. Was supposed to be getting, my roommate was supposed to be getting a job. They told him, everything was finalized. All he had to do was sign the paperwork, and they were gonna, send that to him ASAP. And then days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into no money. And then it was finally like, oh, by the way, we've changed our minds. So it was 5 weeks we were waiting on word about that. And they already knew that they were going to tell him no after 2 weeks. And they dragged it out for 3 more after that. And then there were a couple other companies that did the same thing. They didn't take nearly as long, but they did do the same thing. And so we ended up stuck in San Diego with absolutely no money. I had to, because we were living in a car, I had to have my cat fostered. She's my emotional support animal. So I'm not doing too well without her. I mean, I'm trying to focus on the fact that she's safe. And she's not living in a car. She's living in an apartment with someone who has other cats. And she's doing really well. So she was very excited the last time I saw her. So she was happy to see me. So she's not forgetting me, of course. But I think next week we're going to try and go back to San Diego on his days off, so that he can do more job hunting. We didn't really have the opportunity to do that this last time we were there because he had job training Wednesday and we had to leave early. We still ended up missing it because we were stuck in traffic for 5 hours, and it's a 3.5-hour drive, even though we actually left way early before traffic even hit. But we hit it where it was like really dense towards the end, so we got stuck. So yeah, that's pretty much been it. We're trying our best to save money, but between his tire blowing, the first 2 weeks of being homeless, and then the battery dying,
Memorial Day weekend.
It's been really difficult to recover financially, because he has a line of credit through his bank, and that has to be paid back, so that's not money we get to keep. And because of that, because it put him in the red each time, it's been really, really hard to save, especially because I'm constantly sick and I need constant care. There's stuff that isn't covered by insurance, like over-the-counter meds, like Tylenol and stuff, and other things like toiletries, like pads, and our washing stuff, body wash, shampoo, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of stuff that we still need. So it's like people assume that because we're homeless that we don't have expenses, but we do. I mean, he still has his car insurance to pay and our phone bill, which we need. We need our phones. We cannot be without those, especially with me being sick.
And us being homeless.
I mean, him looking for a better job or a different job, he's got to have a way for people to reach him. And the whole car thing, we cannot be without our vehicle, because then we will have nowhere to sleep at all. So it's not an option to be without those things. We are way better off than a lot of people in our situation, but it's not by much. you know, we're able to wash our clothes, and, you know, he's lucky he has a job, but we are not really able to save money for a deposit yet. And so finding somewhere to live has been really hard because everybody wants a deposit, which is reasonable. I mean, it's not an unreasonable request, but it makes it more difficult for us, especially when we're not subletting underneath somebody, and so it's like through their landlord that they need a deposit, so we can't like make payments on the deposit. So like people can't work with us even though they'd want to, like, you know, I wish there was more I could do, but I can't, my hands are tied kind of thing. So that's what it's like. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on now. I don't remember if I mentioned in the last video, but I was diagnosed in the ER with a degenerative thing in my knees. It's called patellofemoral pain syndrome. It's where the femur rubs against the kneecap, and it's chronic, it's degenerative, and surgery is inevitable. And that's not a cure, that just helps with symptoms, anti-inflammatories and all that kind of stuff. So there may be a point in time, because the surgery, all it does is shave down where it rubs, and eventually there's not going to be anything for them to shave down, so eventually they will have to replace my knees. That's how that's going to happen. So the doctor has, you know, prescribed an anti-inflammatory, has told me to limit my mobility, so I'm in my wheelchair more often than I'd like. And I use my cane. I have to avoid stairs. I can't squat, so like exercising is out of the question. Yeah, my knees grind audibly. Like if the room is dead silent and I bend my knees, both of them make sound and you can hear them. It's very loud. They weren't actually sure of my diagnosis until the doctor who talked to me, he's like, okay, tell me about your symptoms. And I told him about my symptoms, and he's like, well, it sounds like you have that particular thing. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure I do, if that's what you think I have. And I said, here, put your finger on my knee. And I put his finger on my knee where it clicks and grinds, where you can feel it. And he goes, oh yeah, you definitely have that. And it's an advanced form of it. So I'm doing fantastic. So that's the updates now. I better go before this gets too long because it's already after 12 minutes, way after. So I will try and make another video very, very soon. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Bye.